Hi, this is Nathan with Lazy Bee Honey Company. Today we're going to talk a little bit about salvaging used frames. A lot of times you have a nice new frame. It starts off like this right cell frame right here, and before you know it, you have something like this right here. Whether it be hive beetles, the infamous wax moth as you can see here, or even the South Texas fire ant, any of those can damage your frames, but don't fret. There are opportunities to restore those, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So usually the first thing we want to do if we have a hive that is taken over by wax moths is we want to take those frames out, put them in a trash bag, tie it up, and put it in the deep freeze. Leave it in there for a couple of days, and then what we'll do is we'll go retrieve it after 2 or 3 days. We'll take them out, we'll put them here on the bench, and we'll take a hive tool, putty knives, and we'll pull the backing out of it, and we'll start scraping everything down, clean the frame up, what we call dressing the frame out. One of the things that you want to make sure, especially if it is wax moths that have damaged the frame, is that you take an ice pick and you really work the corners down here in the grooves. You can see the ice pick coming out. These corners with the bottom bar and the side come together is a good place for wax moths to lay eggs. So make sure you're running an ice pick through it, even up here at the top. And either use an ice pick or sometimes a paint can opener, the little key tool. You can run through these bottom grooves and top grooves, get them cleaned out real well. So once we've got it all scraped down and we've got the backing taken out, what we like to do is we'll take a 5-gallon bucket, put about 4 gallons of water in it, and we'll put 2 cups of bleach. Just put 2 cups of Clorox bleach in there. Take you about 4 frames, and you can stick it down in the bucket. We'll set a timer for about 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, we'll pull those frames out, flip them over, stick them back in, set the timer again, allow them to soak for 15 minutes. Once they're done on both sides, you can take them out, you can rinse them off, and then just hang them out on a pipe, piece of PVC plastic or something in the sun, and let them air dry real well. And then they're ready to be put back into service with backing. So you can either go back with the right cell, which you can order just the right cell itself out of the frame. One thing we like to do is it gives us an opportunity to utilize the old right cell frames for other purposes. One of which is ordering more right cell, but ordering it in the black. The black is handy when you go to start grafting. If you're going to raise your own queens, putting the black right cell in there allows the larva to show up better. So you're looking for 3-day-old larva or whatever you're trying to do when it comes to grafting. What it does is the black background makes that white larva pop out. So that's one option you can do. Another option you can go back with, a lot of people like to get as close to natural wax as possible. So like this Duragild is an option right here. What it is the Duragild essentially is 2 sheets of surplus extra thin wax. So there's a sheet on this side and then a sheet on this side behind the paper here. And in between it, paper thin, is a piece of plastic. It's BPA free plastic, and that's put in there so you can basically take this and you can pop it right in the frame, and you don't have to use any wires or any type of support because that plastic's in there, and that acts as a backing support. The benefits of this Duragild is because you have a complete sheet of natural wax on either side, which should entice the bees to draw it out more quickly. A lot of folks complain about the wax right. Sometimes they'll get them and it doesn't have enough wax on it. The bees will be splotchy with what they draw out. So they're interested in going with something like this. And then also you can go with just your super thin surplus wax. One of the things we like to do, because these frames started off as the wax right cell frames, is they weren't originally made to take on just original wax. but don't fear, you can convert them. So what we like to do is we'll drill a couple of 5/32 holes almost side by side on each side of the frame. I'll run some fishing line through the hole, come through the other side, lace it, come back through, and I'll pull both sides together, and then we'll just pop it with the staple gun. And we could probably do a separate video later on that to go into greater detail. So use the fishing line so it gives it some support. It's quicker, cheaper than stringing up your frame. Remember, we're just restoring frames here. We're not sitting down and building brand new frames from scratch. The nice thing about the fishing line is because these are brood frames, if you're going to be collecting queen cells, it's nice to have the fishing line because you can take a nice sharp knife, like a skinny knife that's pointed, and you can cut out your queen cells, and if it's built over the fishing line, you can just simply cut through it. Where if it's a wired frame, that's not going to happen, or at least not as easily. So we'll take the fishing line, we'll put it in there, like I showed you, and then because these sheets are made for waxed frames and not the Cellrites, it's nice to lay the sheet down on a piece of wood, take you a pizza cutter, and cut off about an eighth to a quarter of the bottom. Just run the pizza roller across it. Real easy. And you'll pull off the little strip of wax. You want to hang on to that, you can put it in your melter. And the reason you do that is because these frames are just a little measurement off. That's a fancy term there, a little measurement off from what they should be for wax sheets. So then you'll feed it in here and just pop them in place and good to go. So now you've got a right cell frame that's been converted to a standard wax frame. Some of them are going to feel a little snugger than others, but essentially you just want to get it in here, get it straightened up, and you're good to go. So they can draw this out for brood. So those are your options. You can simply just order you some right cell backings, pop them back in after you've done the cleanup process, and call it good. You can look to entertain the Duragild. You can go with the surplus wax. There's a couple of benefits to this. One of the things that we have done, besides using it for brood and being able to cut through it to pull out the queen cells, is sometimes we'll take deep boxes with these recycled frames. We'll put the natural wax in, and we'll put them as supers for comb honey. So you can get nice big pieces of comb honey, and you can get more out of it than you can on your shallows. So that's that. As always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future episodes or educational material, feel free to email us at honey@lazybeehoneyco.com. If you like the videos, go on our website, www.lazybeehoneyco.com. Buy some honey jam, or some of our fine gourmet honey spreads. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you later.